Deep inside the Sundarban forest, there is a delicate equilibrium at play. The ecosystem thrives on energy and a constant hum of physical activity. But right in the middle of this active environment lives Golu. His defining characteristic is a profound, unshakable aversion to doing any actual work. Like any animal, Golu needs calories to survive. The problem is that acquiring those calories requires energy. For Golu, the biological imperative to eat is constantly at war with his absolute refusal to lift a single paw. Every day he audibly grumbles about the mechanics of staying alive. The trek to the river feels like a marathon, and climbing a tree is an exhausting ordeal. Golu's refusal to move has put him in a bind. He is hungry, but his legs won't carry him, leaving him desperate for any solution that doesn't involve walking. Look at this balancing scale. On one side is the physical energy expended. On the other side is the sustenance gained. In nature, these variables must perfectly balance, but Golu's fantasy completely removes the effort variable, demanding the reward detached from the labor. When you eliminate the work, the entire structure becomes unstable. Demanding the reward while artificially stripping away the cost sets the stage for a total systemic collapse. That collapse begins deep in the woods, where the standard rules of the forest break down around a strange anomaly. Perched on its branches is a small blue fairy. She acts as the local administrator for this patch of the woods, controlling the mechanics of the ancient tree. She offers Golu a new operational rule. From this moment on, physical labor is obsolete. If he wants food, he simply speaks its name, and the tree provides it instantly. For a bear paralyzed by lethargy, this is the ultimate loophole. Golu is euphoric. The friction between hunger and effort has been entirely erased. He conducts a quick test, asking for a single piece of fruit. The system works flawlessly, delivering the exact reward requested directly to his location. That first successful acquisition falsely validates his entire worldview. The magic proves he doesn't need to work, turning a simple meal into an open gateway for unconstrained greed. But there is a hidden danger in a frictionless environment. Without the physical exertion required to gather each apple, Golu's natural patience evaporates almost instantly. Instead of asking for one meal at a time, his demands rapidly escalate. He wants more, and he wants it faster, entirely bypassing the natural pacing of a normal harvest. He pushes the system to its absolute limit, shouting a single extreme command. He demands every single apple on the tree, right now. The magic tree complies without hesitation. Unable to process the massive request gradually, it releases its entire yield simultaneously. Golu's initial euphoria shifts directly into absolute panic. He is suddenly facing an uncontrollable volume of rewards. He waves his paws, desperately trying to verbally cancel the order, but the chain reaction he initiated is already in motion and cannot be stopped. The sheer mass of falling fruit overpowers him, pinning his entire body to the forest floor. When instant gratification is no longer regulated by the natural limitation of physical effort, it doesn't sustain you. It structurally collapses into a trap. The fairy steps in to manually override the malfunctioning system, using her magic wand to lift the crushing weight off the forest floor. Golu emerges from the wreckage completely exhausted. The shortcut he thought would save him energy has left him battered and bruised. The fairy looks at the mess of fruit scattered everywhere. She explains that when a reward comes without any effort, it stops being a prize and starts being a burden. Golu picks himself up, sore and shaken. He looks at the mountain of fruit he can't even eat and realizes that climbing a tree for one apple is much easier than being buried alive by 100 of them. The next morning, Golu doesn't wait for a miracle. He starts his day with a few clumsy stretches, slowly preparing his body for the actual work of foraging. Instead of relying on commands, he uses his own physical strength to navigate the environment, executing the labor he once avoided. By expending the necessary energy, he secures his sustenance safely. The intrinsic sweetness of the reward is entirely dependent on the labor expended to achieve it.